Isiah Pacheco was ranked as the 22nd best running back recruit in the 2018 college football recruiting class, so we're the 21 running backs ranked higher than him now. We're to start just in front of him at number 21 was Isaiah Browser, coming out of Sydney, Ohio, who committed to play for Northwestern. And at Northwestern, he was a pretty solid running back there for 3 seasons before transferring to UCF in 2021, where he was solid there for 2 seasons but went undrafted in the NFL and is currently playing for the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL. And just cracking into the top 20 is Taven Thomas, coming out of Dayton, Ohio, who committed to play for Cincinnati. And in his 2 years in Cincinnati, he was kind of disappointing there. So in 2020, he went to Independence Community College, where he was amazing there, and then transferred to Utah in 2021. And with the Utes in 2021, he dominated, having over 1,000 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns as he led the entire nation. After this, he had one more solid season of college football at Utah, but never made it in professional football. And at number 19 is Jeremy Banks, coming out of Cordova, Tennessee, who committed to play for the Tennessee Volunteers. And at Tennessee, he'd be converted to a linebacker and was actually pretty solid there. And in 2021, he had a breakout year with 128 tackles and 5.5 sacks. Sadly though, despite this, he would still go undrafted in 2023 and sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, never playing a single snap in the NFL. And at number 18 is Richard Newton, coming out of California, who committed to play for Washington. And he got out to a pretty hot start at Washington, but overall was just not very good there and got his degree in drama performance. And coming in at number 17 is Jermar Jefferson, coming out of California, who committed to play for Oregon State. He had an amazing true freshman season at Oregon State as he had over 1,300 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns as he'd be named the Pac-12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. For this, he followed this up with 2 more good seasons at Oregon State before being selected in the 7th round of the 2021 NFL Draft with the Detroit Lions. And he's currently still playing for the Detroit Lions, but sadly hasn't done very much. They're not even eclipsing 100 rushing yards. And at number 16 is Johnny Adams, coming out of Indianapolis, Indiana, who committed to play for Cal. And he was the definition of a bust, never playing a single snap of college football. And just cracking to the top 15 is Ronnie Walker, coming out of Virginia, who committed to play for the Indiana Hoosiers. And in his first 2 seasons at Indiana, he was solid but didn't do very much, so he decided to transfer to play for Virginia. And he would go on to play 3 years at Virginia, but honestly just didn't do very much there, so he played his final season of college football at Utah Tech. And at number 14 is Andrew Van Buren, coming out of West Hills, California, who committed to play for Boise State. And overall, in his first 4 seasons at Boise State, he was kind of disappointing, so in 2022, he transferred to Portland State, where he was solid but just never really that amazing. And now he's currently the high school football coach for Liberty High School in Arizona. And coming in at number 13 is Damian Pierce, coming out of Georgia, who committed to play for the Florida Gators. And he was a very solid and reliable running back for Florida for 4 seasons, which allowed him to be selected in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft by the Houston Texans. And in his first 3 seasons in the NFL with the Texans, his role slowly getting smaller with them, but he's been a solid running back thus far. And at number 12 is Christopher Brooks, coming out of Oceanside, California, who committed to play for Cal. And he was actually a very good running back at California for 4 seasons, but injuries started to slowly derail his career, so in 2022, he transferred to BYU. And with the BYU Cougars, he was actually a great running back for them, having over 800 rushing yards and averaging 6.3 yards a carry, but sadly went undrafted in 2023 and signed with the Dolphins. And he actually got to play in his rookie season with the Dolphins and play with the Green Bay Packers this season in 2024. And coming in at number 11 is Nakia Watson, coming out of Austin, Texas, who committed to play for Wisconsin. And in his first 2 seasons with the Badgers, he was solid but never amazing, transferring to Washington State in 2021, where he played 3 solid seasons there. And now he currently works as a graduate assistant at Rider University. And just cracking the top 10 is Asa Martin, coming out of Alabama, who committed to play for the Auburn Tigers. And he didn't do very much in his 1 season at Auburn, so he decided to transfer to Memphis in 2020. He was a solid running back for the Memphis Tigers for 3 seasons, but was never amazing. Entered the transfer portal again, where he was a 3-star and the 285th best overall player. And he transferred for his final season of college football in 2023 to Troy, where he didn't do very much and never made it in professional football. Coming in at number 9 is Maurice Washington, coming out of Cedar Hill, Texas, who committed to play for Nebraska. And he was a solid running back with the Cornhuskers for 2 seasons before stepping away from football for 2 years. After this, he transferred to Grambling State, where he was a solid running back there and is now currently working as an information technology specialist. And at number 8 is Chris Curry, coming into Lehigh Acres, Florida, who committed to play for the LSU Tigers. And he was a decent running back at LSU for 3 seasons, but was never amazing, transferring to Utah. And he would go on to play 3 seasons of college football for the Utah Utes, and overall just was not really that great of a running back. And coming in at number 7 is Keontae Ingram, coming out of Texas, who stayed home and committed to play for the Texas Longhorns. And he had a great true freshman season at Texas before following this up with 2 more solid seasons with the Longhorns and then transferring to USC in 2021. And in his 1 season at USC, he was good, which allowed him to be selected in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft by the Arizona Cardinals. Sadly though, he only played 2 seasons with the Cardinals before they released him, and then he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he won a Super Bowl and is currently on their practice squad. And coming in at number 6 is Master Teague, coming out of Tennessee, who committed to play for Ohio State. And he was never amazing at Ohio State, but he was a very reliable and good running back for them, as he'd actually become a 2nd team All-Big Ten selection, but sadly went undrafted in 2022 and signed with the Steelers. And he never played a single snap in the NFL, last played for the Chicago Bears in 2022. And just cracking into the top 5 is Harold Joyner, coming out of Birmingham, Alabama, who committed to play for Auburn. And in his 2 years at Auburn, he never really did that much, so in 2022 2021, he transferred to Michigan State, where he be converted to a linebacker and was solid but never great. And now he is currently listed as working for Twitch. And at number 4 is Brian Snead, coming out of Seffner, Florida, who committed to play for Ohio State. He never did much of anything at Ohio State before being booted from the team and then having to go play a year at JUCO. He was very good in JUCO, becoming a 3-star and the 31 best overall player in the cycle, transferring to Austin Peay State University. And he was a solid running back at Austin Peay for 2 seasons before transferring to Arkansas State, where he didn't do too much in his last 2 seasons of college football. Just cracking to the top 3 is Lorenzo Lingard, coming out of Orange City, Florida, who committed to play for Miami. And he played 1 year at Miami before transferring to Florida for 3 seasons, where he didn't do very much, and then playing his final season of college football at Akron. He was good with Akron, but went undrafted, signing with the Jaguars, and now currently playing for the New York Giants. And coming in at number 2 is Ricky Person Jr., coming out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, who committed to play for NC State. And he was a good running back at NC State for 4 seasons, but sadly went undrafted in 2022 and signed with the Baltimore Ravens. And since then, he's began to bounce around many different leagues, teams, and practice squads, and is currently playing in the USFL for the Birmingham Stallions, where he's won a championship with them already. And the number 1 college football running back recruit was Zamir White, coming out of North Carolina, who committed to play for Georgia. And he was a good running back with the Bulldogs for 3 seasons, being a big piece and then winning a national championship in 2021, and that would be selected in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL draft by the Las Vegas Raiders. Sadly, though, in his first 3 seasons in the NFL with the Raiders, he's been kind of a disappointing pick thus far.